The Minecraft Santa Claus Parade is back. This is the second Minecraft Santa Claus Parade. The first one was back in January, and now we're back with another one. Leading off the parade for the second time is Snowball the Ape, the giant white gorilla, who is kicking off the parade just like he did last time. And I don't know if any Macy's Parade YouTuber has ever done this before. We're gonna go underneath Snowball. Not really sure what that noise was, but anyway, here comes our first marching band. This is the Glen Ridge High School Marching Band from St. Catharines, Ontario. And no, this is not an actual high school, it's just a name that I came up with myself. And they are leading the way for our first balloon. You could probably tell who it is. Here he is, it's Beagle Scout Snoopy. Snoopy is the first balloon in this parade, and he is depicted in his Beagle Scouts outfit. As you can see, he's got his backpack on, he's running down the parade route, and even his pal Woodstock is on his cap. Or, it's more of a hat, but you get the idea. This year marks a big year for Beagle Scouts, and to celebrate, Peanuts has released lots of Beagle Scouts merch this year. You can find them at lots of stores that sell Peanuts merch, and if you live in Ontario, you can find some at Canada's Wonderland. And while we're on the topic of camping, here comes our next float. This is Igniting Memories. It's from Solo Stove, and it features a campsite. It's a 2-in-1 float. The first float is this trailer, and the second float is this beautiful nature scene. Oh, you can already see one of the new balloons there. We'll get to him in a bit. Here's the East Danforth High School Marching Band from Toronto, and right behind them is the Visit Lauderdale float. It's called Everyone Under the Sun, and it's encouraging everyone to visit Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It's got lots of fun activities that people can do while they're in the city, including relax on the beaches and explore the wildlife there. You might even find some gators and manatees. This parade features 2 new balloons, and here's one of them, SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob is soaking up all the attention as he makes a huge splash down the parade route, and his pet snail Gary is even hitching a ride on his back. This year's a big year for SpongeBob. It's his 25th anniversary, and Paramount and Nickelodeon are going all out to celebrate this occasion. It started back in February with the Netflix release of Saving Bikini Bottom, the Sandy Cheeks movie. Well, if you live in Canada, at least. And there's going to be a lot more big SpongeBob projects on the way, so I'm excited to see what Nickelodeon has in store for this year for this underwater optimist. Here comes a new float. This is the San Diego Zoo's float. It's called It All Started with a Roar, and it features a wildlife scene with lots of wild animals, including this polar bear, straight out of the Canadian wilderness. We got some koalas, an orangutan, and of course, a lion, because it wouldn't be a San Diego Zoo float without one. Up next is the Falgarwood High School Marching Band. They're from Oakville, Ontario. And right behind them, all the way from Australia, Bluey is back in the parade. Bluey is playing her favorite game, Keepy Uppy. Well, it's one of her favorite games, and yeah, she has many favorite games, and Keepy Uppy's one of them, and as you can see, she must be playing really well, because look how high the balloon is. This year, Bluey continues to take over the world as, well, not in a bad way, of course, in a good way. And of course, Bluey's Big Play, her live stage show, just finished playing in Toronto, and now She has a new extended episode. It's called The Sign, and it's 28 minutes long, making it the longest episode in the show's history. And not only that, there's a new standard length episode called Ghost Basket, and new Bluey episodes were just announced today, as of when this is being recorded. So, Bluey's got a lot of stuff coming up, so stay tuned, Bluey fans. Up next, we have the Mario Bros. Wonder Float. This float is based on the video game Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and it comes straight out of the Nintendo Switch and into the parade. As you can see, Mario is holding the Wonder Flower, which leads to wonderfully weird gameplay. You might find some talking flowers, and wait, Mario can turn into an elephant? You know what I gotta say to that? Wowie zowie! I know, that was terrible, but it's the best I can do. Here's another new float. This is the Wonder Ship from Wonder Bread. This float features a giant sky ship painted in Wonder Bread's signature colors of white, yellow, red, and blue. It's soaring down the parade route, and the people that are piloting the ship are exploring down the parade route. And right behind them, here comes Monkey D. Luffy from one of the most popular animes of all time, One Piece. It's one of my favorites. In fact, One Piece is my favorite anime. It's a great show. Anyway, Luffy is gum punching his way down the parade route as he soars above all the crowds watching him today. And Luffy's actually made out of rubber, and I guess it's no wonder why he's a balloon today. Anyway, One Piece just premiered its 1,100th episode, so if you're watching One Piece, you got a lot of catching up to do. See you later, Luffy. Up next, the Pickering High School Marching Band from Pickering, Ontario. Oh boy, this is one of my favorites. Those bananas are looking a little frantic, and we think we know why. Here he is. It's the rich minion himself, Stuart the Minion. My favorite balloon from the Macy's parade, so of course, it's only fitting that I include him in this parade. These little guys are always up for some trouble. And Stuart's getting himself into trouble right now, because he's holding a banana guy. Stuart, what do you think you're doing? Where's Gru when you need him? Well, after appearing in the new Despicable Me short Mooned, Stuart and his minion pals are going to be returning to the big screen later this year in the new film Despicable Me 4. So, if you're big into the Minions, you've got something to look forward to. Here's Believe in Kindness from Tim Hortons. This float features a picturesque Canadian winter scene, even though it's spring, but whatever. There's a rabbit skating with some Timbits, and a coffee cup and a honeycruller are even joining in front of their nice cabin. And when you see this piece of cheese, you know who's coming up next. Greg Heffley from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Greg is trying to get the cheese touch, but I don't think it's a good idea, Greg. It's like cooties, but with a lot more dairy. Don't touch the cheese, Greg. Greg's here to announce that later this year, he'll be featured in the brand new Diary of a Wimpy Kid book. It's called Diary of a Wimpy Kid Hot Mess, and it's gonna come out this fall. The cover for the book was revealed recently, and I bet all the Wimpy Kid fans are excited to read it when it comes out. Now you're probably wondering what this is. Well, let me explain. This is a steam bus. It's an old mode of transportation used in the 19th and 20th centuries. And As you can see, it runs on steam rather than gasoline or coal, which is what trains are run by. Although, the steam is actually coming out of this campfire. It's nice to have some old history in this parade, because it really teaches the younger generations about what life was like back in the day. Up next, we have the St. Lawrence Catholic High School Marching Band from Vaughan, Ontario. And they are the first marching band from a Catholic school to march in the parade. And it only makes sense that they're here because Ontario has a lot of Catholic schools. Here's a popular float. It's the Brick Changer from LEGO. Take a look at this giant turkey dragon who's encouraging everyone that play is your superpower and you can make anything you want if you use your imagination. He can even breathe smoke for us, but I don't know if he's gonna do that now. But look who's flying in right behind him. Kicking his way down the parade route, the legendary dragon warrior himself, Po from Kung Fu Panda. Po is here to announce that he has most recently returned to the big screen in the new film Kung Fu Panda 4, which I don't know if it's still out or not, but if it's still out, now's your last chance to see the Dragon Warrior in theaters, because time's running out and Po has got a lot of stuff ahead of him. Now moving on to the Christmas-themed float, starting with the Candy Cane Lane float, based on Candy Cane Lane, the movie on Prime Video. As you can see, Pip, Cordelia, and Lamplighter Gary are driving around in their convertible, while the 12 Days of Christmas carousel tree lights up. If Chris and his family are watching the parade, I'm sure they'll be very happy to see this float. Next, from Brampton, Ontario, here's the Spring Valley High School Marching Band, followed by the Palace of Sweets from Brock's. If this isn't the sweetest float in the parade, then I don't know what is. Because this float's got everything. A Christmas tree made out of ornaments, lots of candy and chocolate, candy canes, a gingerbread house, a conveyor belt. This float's got everything. And sledding in behind them is our last balloon, Pikachu and Eevee. They are last once again because they were last in the first parade and now they're last once again. Pikachu and Eevee are the most adorable dynamic duo you'll ever lay your eyes upon as they sled down the parade route, letting everyone know about the new upcoming Pokemon game, Pokemon Legends Z to A, which is going to come out in 2025. Alright, here's our last new float. We'll make that 5 new floats. This is Jingle on the Waves, sponsored by Visit Newport Beach, California. This float features 5 boats, and they all have something different on them, telling everyone to come check out Newport Beach during the holiday season. There's a polar bear on this boat with a Christmas tree, and some dolphins are even joining him in. Then we've got this nice boat that's got lots of decorations, and maybe you'll even see some people peeking through these windows. This is what I like to call the love boat, because it's got a giant purple and yellow heart on it. Here's another boat with a Ferris wheel and a giant firecracker as firecrackers go off over this sea of candies. And finally, here's a snowman, because why not? Everyone loves snowmen. What a fun new addition to the parade. Alright, here's the Unionville High School Marching Band from Markham, Ontario, and they are leading the way for one of our VIP guests. Here is Mrs. Claus's Command Center. As you can see, Mrs. Claus is hard at work. Even though it's not Christmas, she still wants to know what her husband is up to. So she's powering the toy factory, which actually got updated this time. Now it's got rotating gears. And she's already preparing the presents for next Christmas. Because it's always nice to plan ahead. And when you see Mrs. Claus, you know that the big guy can't be far behind. But first, here's the Woodbridge North High School Marching Band from Vaughan, Ontario. And they are one big band. Well, you've got to have a big band for who's coming up next. And speaking of who's coming up next, here he is. Here's Santa's sleigh, featuring the big guy himself, Santa Claus. And look, all 8 of his reindeer showed up. They're flying over all of these houses as Santa is telling everyone that he hopes they have a great spring and all the best for the rest of 2024. I hope you guys enjoyed this parade, and as always, see you in the next one.